And we are live. I am Adam. This is Open Late. And tonight we are opening the 60th anniversary, the G.I. Joe Classified Series 60th anniversary Action Soldier Infantry. It's a mouthful. It's a box full. It's a deluxe figure. It comes with a whole bunch of cool stuff. And I'm really excited about this figure. Unnamed GI Joes, I'm really excited for this figure, but at the same time there's part of me that's sort of like, I have so many named characters that I need and want, and so many Cobra Army builders. Like, do I really need an unnamed GI Joe figure? And the answer, I think, is yes. I mean, I think I think this figure warrants purchase, and I think it's pretty easily justified just because of how much cool stuff is here, but also how much throwback there is with this figure in terms of reflecting on the 60-year anniversary of GI Joe and the 60-year history of GI Joe, going all the way back to 1964. Now, they weren't 6-inch figures in 1964. They weren't 3 3/4 inch figures in 1964. They were 12-inch figures. They were 1/6 scale figures. But for the history of GI Joe, check out tons of other channels that they will do a much better job than I will. I am not a historian of GI Joes. I am not even, I'm not even as big a fan as a lot of people are. I love GI Joe, don't get me wrong. I have loved GI Joe since I was a kid, but I'm not somebody that you're ever going to want to rely on for GI Joe lore or GI Joe history or any of that stuff, because I just absolutely love the figures, love the cartoon, both the Sunbow cartoon and the D cartoon. And I just love GI Joe as a brand, and I'm just excited. I'm just excited about GI Joe. I'm also like 20 minutes removed from checking in to my flights for Joe Fest. So I'm kind of on a GI Joe high. It's Yo Joe June. I'm going to Joe Fest. I'm opening GI Joes. It's the golden age of toys, as my buddy Eddie always says. But it's also like the golden age of GI Joe. There's this crazy resurgence with the classified line. I think Joe Fest is going to be bigger than ever. From what I hear, a lot of people that were a little bit bummed and felt like they were kind of missing out because there was no PowerCon, kind of turned their attention to Joe Fest. So there's some retailers and some toy makers that are focusing on Joe Fest a little bit more than they would have. So it's just a really good time to be a GI Joe fan, I think. Anyways, let's check in with the chat. Whoa. My computer just decided to... Oh, that was weird. Okay. Cobweb says, hello. Saf is here. Game Quest is hanging out. Sci-Fi George, which is a name that I don't recognize. Good to have you. He says, greetings all. GameQuest says, this figure really pulled at the old heartstrings as it represents so much that made me fall in love with the OG Real American Hero line. All right. Well, if it's anything, if it's half as good as what GameQuest is suggesting, I think it's going to be a really good figure. As I said, I'm really excited about this figure. I'm really excited about the soft goods. I'm really excited about, all the accessories. I think I've placed where most of these accessories come from, but I might have missed a couple. But yeah, just a really, really cool figure. First off, let's take a look at the box. So we get this nice big box. This is similar to what we've seen for deluxe figures. I think Metalhead was in a box this size, if I remember correctly, with a nice big cutout. But the 60th anniversary ones have slightly different detailing. So they got that 60th anniversary badge down in the corner. They have a 60th anniversary sort of card, inset card in there with a topographical looking map, and a little bit different, just a different vibe to the box. And I like it. I like it. I like that it's different. I like that they didn't try to make it just another classified figure. These are sort of standalone figures. We get the art like we're used to on the side there. On the top, we get that 60th anniversary badge. Again, on the side where we normally get a blue render, we get this sort of grayscale one. The QR code, which we have seen before. No specialty designation icons. Instead, we get a picture of the figure. Then on the back, we get some of that 3D rendered art, picture kind of thing, which is what we used to be getting on the front not many waves ago. But the figure looks really, really good. All decked out in his gear there. Call outs to a couple details, the hood, the microphone, whatever, the walkie-talkie. A bunch of legalese on the bottom, as well as more on the bottom. We get the full panel on the side, and no number on these. They just have the 60th anniversary badge there. So there you go. That is the packaging. But really, I mean, he's an army builder, and he's a trooper. So not too much to say about him. Let's get him out of the box. Oh, right out of the box, the base fell out there. There you can see that 60th anniversary insert card. Just a little bit different. I like that they took the time and effort to do that. So there's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot more than I thought. There was a bunch of stuff that was sort of hiding behind the card. So there's an extra set of hands, a bunch of pouches, and a tripod for the gun. So bear with me for a minute. I will try to get this stuff out as quickly as I can. Enjoy the ASMR portion of tonight's episode. Trying to get this out as quickly as I can. All right, success. Now let's see if I can get him to stand right out of the box. Let's see here. Well, I think I'll be able to get him to stand, but he won't be looking that. Not too bad. All right. There he is. Let me quickly adjust the camera. A little bit, not that much. Adjust my light. Make sure it's working. All right, there we go. That's all the fun stuff that I do when I record my videos. But I got to do it super fast so that you guys aren't bored out of your skulls. Okay, let's do accessories first, and then we'll take a look at the figure. As I said, you get the base. which is cool. We get a big old backpack. This, I believe, is Outback's backpack. Tripod, as well as this big old thing. Now, this came with Serpentor's Air Chariot. I believe that is so far the only place that we got it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might come with the Tiger Force Roadblock now as well. Now, it does come with a bullet belt. This bullet belt is different than the one that came with the Air Chariot. The Air Chariot had that sort of one that looped back around. And then, where does this go? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so there's sort of a two-handled thing going on here, but that can pop off, and you can put this handle on so you can carry the thing. So I think that's probably what Roadblock gets, is this version right here. I kind of like it better with the two handles, but, and I'm going to put it on the tripod as well. Oh man, that's cool. This gives me more like OG vintage Roadblock vibes than the gun that came with the what do they call it? The heavy artillery Roadblock or whatever. But I actually like the gun that came with heavy artillery Roadblock more because it feels more modern. It feels more updated. This one, you know, for a retro carded Roadblock or whatever is fine, but I think the one that they used, I think it works better. This big boy came with Big Ben. Of course, it has the tripod still. There we go. So the legs will flip down on this or just pop right off because I'm rushing it and not being gentle with it. When you fold the legs down, they actually fold out as well. So that's that's a really, really cool design piece that they did that I think goes a little bit unnoticed, goes a little bit under the radar. The little bullet canister pops off as well, but the bullets are painted there. This is actually, there's a bit of paint on this. So they painted the handle, they painted the bullets in the canister there. So there's you know, there's effort that's been put in here. This isn't just reusing parts and sort of expecting people to be thankful. This is Hasbro doing a pretty good job of parts reuse, in my opinion. You know, anyways. This one came, who did this one come with? Now I can't remember who this one came with, but this also has that adjustable handle. The handle's kind of goofy. I wish that was just fixed on there, but it's also got a removable magazine, which is cool. I really like this. It is a little bit bent, but I could deal with that. That's just a little bit of, I think this was Big Ben as well. Was it not? Was it not Big Ben as well? A little bit of heat will fix that. No problem at all. There's so much stuff. I feel like I'm going to need to set up these accessories better so that they take up more space. But so the figure comes with the hood up, but there's also a hood down piece, which is very, very cool. Alternate head. We get alternate hands to match the alternate head. I thought there were fists in the package, but I realized it's just alternate. You know, you get trigger fists to match the Caucasian skin tone, and then hands to match the darker complexion on that figure there. We get a pistol. So this guy is pretty loaded. We get tiny little dog tags. I don't know. Is this the first time we've seen these dog tags? It might very well be. I'm not 100% certain. We get a helmet. I believe that this is the same helmet that Grunt had. I believe. Feel free to correct me in the comments if you know otherwise. I did a very, very quick scan, and that was the closest helmet that I could find. Where is he? Let me see if I can find Grunt. Yeah, I'm going to say that's Grunt's helmet, just with a little bit more paint. So Grunt's helmet just has the straps painted. This one has the straps as well as that detail on the temple as well. Very, very cool. I think, well, I'll get there when I get to the figure. So all of these bits are new, and I think most of these come with Doc as well. So I'm excited to get Doc, partly, to get some of this stuff, but we get the walkie-talkie, we get pouches, we get more pouches, we get a couple more pouches, we get a pouch, and we get a bigger pouch that happens to have a cool tampo with the GI Joe insignia, the star with the 3 stripes there. So that's pretty cool. I really like that one. I'm digging that one. All of this together makes for a pretty phenomenal loadout, but I think the figure is really, really cool as well. So we get this soft goods poncho, which has a pocket. I mean, as if you didn't have enough pouches. This pocket is a functioning pocket, so I could put the pistol in his pocket. I don't think I'm going to keep the pistol in his pocket. I think he probably has a holster. Yes, he does. This poncho's done quite well. It's got sort of shoulder covering, back covering, front covering, as well as that pocket, and it sits pretty well. Like, I was worried that it would look clumsy and it would look kind of funky, but they've cut it and shaped it in such a way that it looks pretty good. As I said, the figure comes with the hood up, but you can surprisingly quickly and easily swap that, quicker than I thought. For the hood down, I don't think it looks as good with the hood down. The hood down doesn't sit as well over the poncho. It feels disconnected from the soft goods poncho. So I think for me, like, with that poncho on, it's hood up. Like, that's just the way that's going to work best. Now the poncho is removable, so let's go ahead and get this poncho off. And get the head back on. Actually, let's get the dog tags on before we do that. To take a closer look at the figure, but before we do that, we'll just take a closer look at the poncho. So it's just pretty simple, straightforward stuff. 2 pieces stitched together at the top, to have a seam with that pocket stitched on there. But this is going to be a great accessory for customizing, kit bashing, whatever you may need a poncho for. I think I am going to do a few different things with them. I got a couple of these guys, so I'm excited to sort of mix and match some parts, and sort of take advantage of the nameless aspect of these characters, and use some of these parts to come up with some custom stuff. Just custom characters, kit bashed characters. My 8-year-old and I have a good time just coming up with cool different figures. So that's a big part of what I'm really digging about this figure here. Let's see here. All right. So the vest is new. As I said, this I believe is Doc's vest. We're going to see this again when we get Doc. So there's a whole bunch of ports, to plug different things in here. A bunch on the back. There's ports on the belt as well. That's interesting. Immediately I noticed that the sort of diaper piece for this figure is floating more than the others. Most of the other classified figures, this piece is pretty well fixed, but this one appears to be looser. It appears to have a little bit more movement. Now I don't know if that's on purpose or that's just they're sort of they chose weird pieces to combine to make this figure. I don't know. But it doesn't really bother me. I'm just pointing it out. Overall, the design on this is really, really cool. One thing that's kind of interesting is that of the colors in the camouflage, and I don't know if it's going to translate very well, but you get this sort of base figure with this sort of beige color, and then there's 3 colors in the paint on the camo. So there's sort of a brown, there's a white, and then the third color is kind of like a burgundy or a maroon. Like it there's a sort of a red tint to it. But it works. It works really, really well. I'm digging it. It's not really echoed in the poncho. The poncho is sort of green with green, beige and brown. So the colors don't match up exactly, which is kind of weird, but it works. It's close enough that it doesn't bother me at all. One thing that I'm very, very curious about is how easily all this stuff will plug in. And I don't know if there's an up or a down to this. I'm going to say that it goes this way, which seems weird to me, but just because there's a number printed on the back and the number goes this way, so I'm going to go this way. Now I wonder if this would be easier to do if you heated up the vest. I'm very, very curious about that. But anyway, I'm going to try to get this guy geared up. Try to check in with the chat here. That seems too big, but it also seems like it sticks out a whole bunch. It's not that bad, like once it gets on there, but anyways. Game Quest says, wish I could share some of my pics of this guy with everybody. Probably should consider that Instagram thing. One day, I guess. Hey, Solo Sinners here. What's going on, man? He says I'm opening this guy tonight too. Had him for a while, so we're basically the same. Yeah, I've had him for a minute too. I've been sitting on this figure. Just been busy. Just been too busy to open toys, which is a bummer, but it's also good. A lot of what I'm busy with is toy related, so I'm not certainly not complaining. All right, I'm gonna put this here. Is there I feel like there's probably like a proper loadout for this. Let me consult the box. So the box, let me see. I'm going to do it like the box does it. Let me see if I can get this in shot. Not that it matters. All right. So this definitely does not go on there. Where's this going to go then? On his back? I guess. Maybe it fits better on there. No, that's not going to make sense because he's going to want his backpack on there. All right, let's figure this out. Okay, this pouch is going here according to that. Okay, where's this going to go? Is he not going to carry that? He's not going to carry that for now. We had 2 pouches on here. He's got too many pouches. This figure is brought to you by Rob Liefeld, and when they asked for his design input, he said, "Not enough pouches." There's got to be an up and a down to this, but I'm trying. I'm going to say that this little zipper indicates that it's going to go this way. Oh, I forgot that he's got the belt. Okay, right. He can plug stuff onto the belt. Okay, so the walkie-talkie can go in the belt. That'll work. This will go where? Up here? That seems odd. Doesn't that seem odd? That'll do. Ah, these things don't stay on very well. As I said, I think a little bit of heat would go a long way with some of these, because I think some of these, the vest, is just kind of pushing back almost against the pouches themselves. But that'll do. All right, so there he is, pretty well geared up. Get this helmet on. Helmet looks good. Figure looks good. Everything about this figure is cool. I'm digging it. I'm digging the 60th anniversary thing. I like that they're redoing, the 1/6 figures, but in the 1/12 scale, to sort of fit with classified. This is going to be a short video tonight, just so you guys know. I got so much stuff to do. I'm leaving tomorrow. Did I mention that I'm leaving for Joe Fest tomorrow? So I've got a whole bunch of stuff to do. Let me just get one more thing going here. I'll get this in his hand. I think he'll get this one in hand. You get the point. I mean, it's a GI Joe figure. It's got the articulation that you're used to. It's got the posability that you're used to. It's got the accessories that you know and love. Okay, he's not holding this very well. There you go. He's got tons of stuff. Let me adjust the camera one more time. And if you guys want to chat for a few minutes, if you got any questions, comments, let me know. All right, here we go. He looks great. I would strongly recommend this figure. This is a really, really good figure. This is a fun figure. If you're doing the classified stuff, I would say this is a great one for army building. If you're not doing classified stuff, even if you're doing Action Force or Monster Force, is that what it's called? I think this guy will fit in really, really well as a troop builder and just sort of a general purpose figure. With the alternate head, alternate hands, you definitely have the possibility to grab a couple and army build a little bit without too much difficulty. And you're not going to have the issue of having too many similar faces, because it is masked as well. So that is a bonus, a plus. And as I said, the accessories are great. There's a lot of stuff going on here. You could make this loadout go a long way, I think. And definitely sort of put some of these parts towards other figures. Anyways, let's see here. Let's see. GameQuest says modular iron GI Joe. Yeah, exactly. Solo Center says, oh, Solo Center says, dude looks good in real life. Paint apps are A+. Too many accessories. Yeah, the paint apps are really, really good. I'm pleasantly surprised by that for sure. Solo Center says, didn't think I'd like the poncho, but it's a good material, feels quality. I was right there with you. I thought it would feel a little bit cheaper. It's not the best poncho I've ever seen, if I'm being perfectly honest. Uh, it's not wired. It really is just going to sort of sit there, but it drapes quite well, and I think it works fairly well. It's definitely going to work well as a template for building or sort of creating some slightly bigger ones, maybe something hooded. I've been thinking for a while that I want to get some ponchos for the animal warriors of the kingdom. They just need some soft goods. I think, when Pale and the trio are out on an adventure and caught in the rain, I think they just need ponchos. But maybe that's just me. And that's not GI Joe related, so I digress. Um, Game Quest says, "Did you grab the diver? I preferred this one of the two, but it was awesome as well." Yes, I did, but I haven't opened that one yet. The diver, I will be opening. Actually, we'll be opening the diver tonight to record a video to have some content while I'm away at Joe Fest. So I have to get that guy on set here and unboxed as well. So that's part of my mission tonight is to do that. So part of the reason that I'm keeping this episode a little bit brief, a little bit short. And on that note, if you will all excuse me, I will prepare to do the diver. This is a great figure. Go out and get it. If you haven't already, I would say that it's definitely worth it. As always, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for commenting and hanging out. If you're watching this on the replay, I appreciate you as well. I know that, I do these relatively late at night, and so it's not always easy for people to tune in live. But maybe in the future I'll kind of mix them up. Maybe I'll do these on like Saturday afternoons or something too, just to have a different day or something, just so that maybe different people can watch it. But anyways, that's for another day. That's for another episode. As I said, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys. It's always more fun to open toys with friends. Until next time, bye bye. Oh, and if you're gonna be at Joe Fest, come visit me. I'll be at the A walkthroughs. Come say hi. Bye bye.